There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yayo, folks. Welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonkō Table. That's the voice of GrandMasterHoop you're hearing here at the helms, here at the forefront of this trek through the desert. Because here we are trying to search for the meaning behind Moon Knight. That's right. We're back here to talk about Moon Knight, episode 4. And as some people have pointed out, it seems episode 4 seemed to be the quintessential episodes in these Marvel series. But I am not alone in this trek across this desert. With me, as always, is fellow Yonkō, DrJaceAttorney. DrJaceAttorney, are you going to stand by my side throughout this Moon Knight journey, or is your path wavering? Is it meandering elsewhere? Are you fully invested still?
Oh yes, 100%. This episode, I would go as far as to say it's probably the best Moon Knight episode. Got a lot of Evil Dead feels from it, a lot of Sam Raimi elements. We'll deep dive those specific elements as we go into the episode, but this one hit really hard. I really like what they did. And I feel like they really homed in on what makes this show different from the typical Marvel formula. And I know we kind of talked about it already in the group chat, and we'll elaborate more on it here. But yeah, I'm still a Moon Knight stan. 4 episodes in, we got 2 after this one. If they keep the pace up like this, yeah, this is gonna be, I would say, probably the best Marvel show. I don't know. It's got some good competition, but we'll see. But I'm here for it.
That's a fair statement. Good competition. Yes, they're doing different things in Moon Knight, and they seem to have culminated into an ending that definitely left the viewers, as my background shows, bewildered, astounded, shocked, and we'll get there. But we're not alone on this trek. Again, we always bring some supernovas along for the ride. So let's hear who will be joining us tonight. All right, look, let's get into this. As you said, they are breaking formula with Moon Knight. And, care to disagree, I think this episode was great, or, whether if you disagree, I don't know where y'all stand. But let's get into what makes this episode so great or so different. For starters, we've been, kind of joking around as far as where it's pulling its, it's like inspirations from. The first part of this episode felt like the Mummy to me. Very Mummy-esque, very, globe-trotting, which they've already been doing, but here they are, they're going through the desert. They're looking for the tomb. They make it to the tomb, and now we have just like this, like Indiana Jones / Mummy film, and then it takes a turn. But I'm really enjoying just, yes, how they're approaching this story. We know Khonshu's not currently in the picture, so it's really just them being humans, and we get a lot from Layla this episode, a lot from Steven and the Layla dynamic, and then we get good bits with Marc. I thought this episode worked really well, and I really enjoyed the Mummy-esque. Do y'all like the Tomb Raider feel, or y'all like Mummy Tomb Raider fans? I felt they did a really good job.
You say?
Who?
Tomb Buster?
Tomb Buster. Good. Yeah.
I think it was definitely that Mummy feel for sure. Especially like once they like got to the actual Amit's tomb, they were walking around. They found the I can't remember the name. I literally just saw it. The statues of stuff. Ushanti. Yeah, when they were finding that, like, this place is cursed. Like, I was definitely getting like the Mummy vibes from this, and I love the Mummy from Brendan Fraser. So I really like this episode a lot more than all the other ones, but I do have to say I'm still so lost. I have no idea what Moon Knight really is about. And like the last 10 minutes of the episode, I feel like I got even more lost. And then like I was founding, I don't have no idea. Like this, like Moon Knight right now, I just feel like has no real direction. And is this even a Marvel production? Because there are literally no hints or any allusions to anything Marvel related other than Victor Von Doom being in Latveria in episode 1.
Good. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that because it's so stripped away from the other Marvel properties, especially the other Marvel shows, I feel like a lot of what put the other shows down was that they had to tie into the greater Marvel universes, except Loki, because that was the whole point. Loki was kind of like a special thing where it's like the whole point was to go and affect the entire Marvel universe. But this feels really like a special show where, you know, people are just showing up and acting. I feel like last week's episode was a little bit of a mess. It felt like last week's episode did feel like another episode of another TV show, except near the end where, they moved the sky with Khonshu. That was really well done. I feel like something consistently that has been done throughout all these episodes is they have really strong endings, which a lot of the other shows kind of lacked in like episode to episode. This really does feel like a special way. And I think it's also because they're cutting out a lot of the filler that's usually in these shows. Like, did we need the first 2 episodes of WandaVision where it was just a straight up recreation of 50s and 60s? I mean, it's nice to see, but then also, did we need like maybe the second to last episode of WandaVision where, you know, it was just moving pieces around rather than just, you know what I mean?
Yes, this is just storytelling. You're a writer. You know this. You got to set up the pieces. You got to get the people engaged with the hook. Get them wanting more.
But
can you hear me? All of us were having different theories. This was great.
You are engaged with Moon Knight. You're just confused.
What's going on with Moon Knight?
But you call it a lack of direction. I think that's the whole point. Because again, a lot of what makes Moon Knight great is we are right in it with Steven and Marc as far as what the hell is going on. And this episode really did push the boundaries of, is everything real? Is everything in their heads? What is going on? Mr. Bombastic, I see you itching. I wonder what side you're leaning on.
Ooh. I'm actually agreeing with Darce. I'm agreeing in the sense that it actually the main point of like any show is catch people, like have people get ready for the next episode. So and I know in episode 4, basically everything started to come together. You started figuring out some pieces, you started learning some things here and there, and then something happened. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be talking about it later on, where like so much more questions started coming up, and that's gonna get the viewer to just be like, okay, what just happened? I'm gonna check it. I guess I'm gonna check it out next episode to see if anything's actually gonna culminate in that sense. But I do agree with Darce in that sense.
And has anything culminated from it? No, we still have no idea where the heck this thing is going.
It's still
giving
building.
us clues. Yeah,
Which is
clues.
It's just gonna make people watch it more in that sense.
Yeah,
it's just gonna make you
notice
watch
how.
it. Okay, now I'm gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like, notice how all the people that were in that room with Marc were people that had previously died on the show.
Yes.
Oh.
Was one of the orderlies from episode 3? Right, he was the henchman for the guy. I thought I recognized
the old lady that asked to be judged. She was there too.
She was. I didn't notice. I don't remember what she even looked like.
The blonde lady,
old lady with white hair. But like, okay. I was like, everybody that already was on this show is here. But I think we'll get to that. But I think this show is kind of pushing its boundaries with what it can be, because it did feel very, I don't want to call it Tomb Raider-esque, but it does feel like the characters are informing the the main struggle in this, because we are introduced with Steven, and we're thrown in it with Steven, and as Mark reveals his secrets, now Steven and Mark are on the same playing field, kind of, and we're in it with them by the end of the episode. So I think that this is like it's a really good way of keeping us wanting to come back, and it's not giving us all the answers up front, like who's, what do you call it? Like, we'll get to it, but I think the beginning of this episode with the Evil Dead, the horror, was really great, top tier.
Which perfect, because I want to talk about that too. Again, yes, they're pushing what this show is and what it could be, or what it possibly could be. And I was really thinking about it. I feel this is the MCU's first real attempt at horror. And I feel they kind of nailed it. And again, that's where I get the mummy aspects. I mean, I'm not looking for all these jump scares, but that scene where that dude is picking apart.
Never saw that in an MCU project ever.
Right. That
Ever.
I felt
you see the chunks. He's eating the chunks and putting it inside of like a bin on the floor. You don't see that.
You don't see that in Disney a lot.
You don't. There was no warning before I played the episode.
I'm just gonna be here and say, for all the Twitter trolls out there saying, "Oh, but Yonkō Table, Josh Whedon had Loki take someone's eye." Shut up. We don't want to hear your opinion.
Oh, who said that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's not horror though. These things have got hands coming out the wall. You know?
But this goes back to my theory that Moon Knight is not in the same verse as the other Marvel TV shows. And so they get brought back in through the multiverse of madness, because it's leading straight in to May 6th when Multiverse comes out. So Multiverse is going to be Marvel's first horror project that's like out on the big screen. So I think this is all going to kind of tie in together, and they're just preparing the Marvel nerds like us for all of the horror and gore.
I know Nino wants to flip the table right now.
Nino, I know you think that this is a Marvel TV show, but this is a Marvel TV show.
I mean, what I think is going on, because there was no Moon Knight in this episode, right?
No Moon Knight
proper. I think like him in his costume, right? No fighting, no cool little gadgets or magic going on with his character. I think that was a good selling point for the episode, because all you're left with is really the dynamics between the characters and Oscar Isaac's performance as both Steven and Mark. Good Lord, this guy's got range. This is absolutely insane. And now I want to know where's that third personality? Where is he at?
Oh,
what's
boy.
his name? What's going on?
There's a question that we haven't, that we haven't been answered yet for people paying attention. Who set up the date with that lady?
Scotty. Okay.
Wait.
No.
Who?
Scott. Okay, the date. Yes.
The date
was right in episode 1.
with the coworker, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
It was not Mark. It was not Mark. And I told you
right.
and I took this to Twitter too, and I haven't gotten answers. I've gotten one answer, but the name is different. And don't look too much into it, because again, I like not knowing anything. I'm sure you can look up a lot of things that happens in this episode.
Yeah.
And get confirmation online, which I saw a lot of people doing. But Scotty, that security guard, kept calling Steven Scotty, and he was like, "It's Steven,"
with a V.
With a V, right? And we see that third sarcophagus, and again, there were times.
That's right. They didn't open it this episode, right?
They didn't open it, but they did refer to the previous episode when neither Steven or Mark stabbed that one goon.
Right. Right.
And they're like, "That wasn't me that killed him. That wasn't you. Who could it be?" So, you can be confused, Darce, but they are giving you sprinkles, and you are eating up the breadcrumbs as much as you probably don't want to admit it. I mean, we are all eating up the breadcrumbs. I feel it's a good taste. That's a looming mystery that I think is going to be resolved. hopefully in the next episode.
Plot
But,
twist. It's their mom.
Is who?
It's their mom that they're on the phone with.
Could be.
Ooh,
Nah, I'm
maybe.
just kidding. Their mom
Could
is.
be.
Maybe
But,
mom's in the sarcophagus. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, it's very much you do not know. Yes, you don't know what's going on. You have a semblance of what's going on or what could possibly be going on. But I think that's the fun of Moon Knight.
It's a good mystery.
Oh, and also wait, I'm sorry to interrupt, but who killed those people in episode 3?
Yeah.
Or was it episode 3? Yeah, episode 3.
Or the goons?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was just talking about.
That's what Grandmaster
Oh.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also
They-
too,
they did it so well, and then like they managed to like not give any hints at all. And once like you start thinking that okay, Mark actually killed them at first, but then once Mark said, "Oh, I didn't do it," and Steven obviously is like, "Well, of course I didn't do it." So now you're like, well, that Avatar actually was the one who actually stabbed him, so he has to be one of them, or either like another personality. At least he had to be.
Right.
So-
In that episode, a lot
real quick though. I on Twitter I was informed that you should say alters and not personalities.
Alters.
Alter. A different alter.
I'll keep that in mind to not say it,
All
just to
right.
make the Twitter people mad.
I think there was some actual like legitimism behind that. So cool fact. But go ahead, Darce.
No, I was just saying that was a very like Khonshu heavy episode, that the previous episode to this one. So we got a lot more screen time with Khonshu, so we were distracted into thinking maybe Khonshu was the one that was going out there stabbing people. But if he is the spirit and he can't really control the body, he needs the avatar to do it, then I guess it does make sense that Scotty doesn't know that he's the third alter in there. But I mean, that's the thing, is like Moon Knight just gives you so many mysteries. There's still no idea what's going on. I need answers.
It's a good thing because let me tell you, we mentioned this last week. We thought if Khonshu was being imprisoned inside of that little wooden statue thing, what if there were other gods that were also banished in that same way? And then
That's
bam,
interesting.
look at that in the background. baby.
Boom.
Beginning of this episode.
There were
Right.
so many.
Who are they? Who was banished? I want to know.
That means their system is so flawed, because like that means like out of all those gods, like Osiris, Isis, they're all talking about like, oh, like we got to make everything proper, but they're banishing gods left and right. So like, how can they make everything like proper in a sense? So that in itself is a mystery.
I wonder if it's like a banishment, or are they like grounded for like 10,000 years, you know? Like, I feel like it's like, you spun Earth, we must go and punish you for being in timeout for 10 years.
I think if it was a banishment, they wouldn't be in those statues. I think it's, yes, like you said, more of a punishment, because at any time, I mean, if they really wanted them gone, they would make them gone. But those statues are up for grabs for anyone to go, honestly, and grab them. But speaking of, mysteries, we've gotten some more insight as far as, Layla's father, which Layla was definitely a strong standout in this episode, having to step up and save Marc and Steven in the beginning of the episode. And then, they got separated, but we get the reveal as far as Marc was there when Layla's father was executed. And it was Marc's partner. I hear this and I'm like, maybe it is this other dude who maybe Marc has buried away. Or do you think it was Marc? Do you think it was Marc?
Well, no,
What do
because
you call it? Isn't Khonshu the reason why, like, there are altars in the in the first place? Like, didn't Khonshu do that?
We don't know. We don't know yet if Khonshu, if the altars are a direct result of Khonshu being into play, or if Marc or Steven just has this problem from the beginning with or without Khonshu.
But didn't they mention that in like the last episode when he was in trial? He was saying like, look, taking advantage of this poor person that is now having multiple altars inside of them. Like, this isn't fair that Khonshu's doing this, yada yada. Believe me, not them.
They called Marc broken. That Marc was already broken, right?
And plus, they also mentioned that, or Marc mentioned that Khonshu technically saved him when he was out in the desert. So I'm wondering if the partner shooting him, he kind of like fell onto like a sacred thing, that's when he took on the altar or the avatar of Khonshu.
You know, now that Grandmaster actually said if whether or not this was the third personality, the person that killed Layla's father,
Alter.
maybe the third altar. Yes.
For Twitter.
For Twitter.
For
purposes.
everyone.
For everywhere. For social media.
For Carnia.
What if maybe it was the third personality, but this is Marc's internal way of projecting fault onto someone else?
That is exactly what I'm thinking.
Potentially be like, no, that clearly was not me. I would never do something like that. So in his mind, how he remembers what went down, oh, I have this nameless partner that we don't know about yet. He's the one that did it. I would never do that. But maybe that's just a messed up memory that he has. Maybe he actually did pull the trigger. And because and maybe it was something he realized after the fact. Maybe he didn't realize that was Layla's father until after he killed him. So after the deed was done, he's like, oh my God, how am I gonna explain this? And then you have the whole mental trauma going on, and then bam. Oh yeah, that was the third personality that did that. I had nothing to do with that.
You know, I was thinking the same thing, but he did also explain that the partner shot him too. He shot Marc, the partner, quote unquote partner, that actually like led into meeting Khonshu, because Khonshu actually saved him from death, and that's basically where kind of like everything began with quote unquote Moon Knight. So that at first I was thinking that it was the third altar, just running things down. But then once I heard that, oh well, he shot me too, unless it was kind of like an attempt suicide right after.
I would go as far as to say that could be his mind trying to paint a scenario as believable as possible to be like, let me shoot myself wherever he was shot. I don't know where he was shot. I don't know if he shot himself in the chest.
But then, like, how do you explain your background right now?
This?
What do you? That's what do you mean? That's it.
That's the sarcophagus.
I don't know. There's so many. I feel like there's too many hoops, and we haven't been given enough clues for that. Like that's us making an assumption that just because Marc and Steven are alters, that there's something even more hidden about them, like not just another altar. I feel like we just have to take it at face value, because there hasn't been anything else to suggest that. Marc is kind of like, what else is there to suggest?
The only thing to suggest that is they had a scenario where they don't know who was in charge of the body.
Yeah.
And
so
okay,
but again, many things.
But that's not specific in the story to be like,
well, there's a dynamic going on right now between Marc and Layla, right? Where Layla is furious with Marc because he was there. Well, actually, she didn't even know at first whether or not
he was there.
Right. So then she discovers, oh, wow, did you kill my father? She doesn't even know if it was him that pulled the trigger. So then after Marc clarifies, no, of course not. That was not me. That was my partner. Then the dynamic shifts.
First, I just want to clarify. The funniest part of like the whole episode was like she was talking to Steven the whole time, but then once she was like, "Did you kill my father?" Steven was like, "I'm out."
Oh yes.
Marc, go in.
This is not my battle. You take this one.
You
buddy.
got this one, buddy. I love this girl. You don't, clearly.
He was fighting so hard to not let Marc out, but once she came at him, he was out in a second.
Now that you mentioned that, I thought it was hilarious how like Marc assaulted Steven when he saw early on in the episode. Just bam, quick one. Just I had to get that in there. Just a quick one to the chin. No, it was great. But
also, could we? What are these mummies that are just running around? Are they like the wizards that she was talking about, like the 6 wizards that were in the tomb that's like trying to protect them? Like,
I'm pretty sure they were just guardians, like Egyptian guardians in a sense. They were just there to kind of like protect anybody from taking things.
And that's a big tomb. That's Alexander the Great. That's a
was
big deal.
fantastic,
They're filing the grave of Alexander the Great, which is funny.
I was just waiting for Evie with the Book of the Dead to start reading Amenephus. Like, he's just starting to like do the whole mummy chant thing.
I like how he was basically desecrating that corpse by shoving his fist down the guy's throat.
He was going there.
But what do you call it? If you didn't expect someone to come and get it, and you specifically asked for it to be shoved down your throat, your mummified throat, I don't feel as bad. He expected someone to go get it.
Oh yeah, he clearly wanted it to happen.
Just not be the easiest thing in the world, you know?
Yeah.
That's a big piece, man. He swallowed that whole. Didn't even chew it up or
He
anything.
was dead
He
when
put
they
it
put
in
it
after
down
he-
there.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was
he was
dead when they
elbow
put it
deep.
in? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Talking about
He wasn't alive when they
That
put
thing
it
was
down
deep, man. Like, oh, what? Did they open his mouth when he was dead and shoved it in too?
there. Yes.
Yes.
cavity and threw it in there.
It's
Everybody's
more
had-
comedic if you believe he swallowed it with some
Oh
glass
my
of water.
gosh.
I mean, either that or you just went through the other hole and then you just went all the way back
No,
up.
no.
That's not even atomically.
But what do you call it? This is obvious. This is obvious, Dr. Jace, that you don't know about the mummification process, and
Go
it's
back and
okay.
watch
I am
Prince
not
of
familiar
Egypt.
with it.
Watch Prince of
Yeah,
Egypt. Watch The Mummy starring Brendan
I'm
Fraser.
just kidding. That's racist. We're not
Don't
being
they
racist.
show how the mummification process happens in Prince of Egypt?
No, they don't. No.
They
What the-
could have. It tackled dark themes. I don't know.
you
I
can
don't remember.
just.
I haven't seen that movie in 20 years.
Okay,
Y'all
look,
remember-
obviously, y'all weren't obsessed with the Egyptology, Dragonology, and Wizardology books like I was when I was.
Oh, like
in
Harry
elementary
Potter.
school. No.
He's talking about on Discovery Kids that show Tuttenstein.
He just
No,
mentioned
I'm not talking
wizardology.
Where the-
Okay,
where the-
I know enough about Egyptian gods. I play Smite.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
Smite, oh.
It's a terrible game. Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've
different
played
gods.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey with Bayek of wherever he's from.
Bayek of Siwa. You put
Siwa.
respect on his name.
Siwa. That's it.
Clown.
Live. Do you guys remember that show?
Which one?
Mummies alive.
Oh,
can't-
Zombies Alive. I mean, Mummies Alive. Yes.
Alive.
You're
Potato,
cutting off a
potato.
little bit. I'm sorry. Mummies Alive. Yes, I do know. It was the rip up. It was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's make these cool akin to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Land Sharks, Mummies Alive, space mice on road bikes. We are digressing. Arthur, he's getting closer to his goal, and clearly now he's kind of over the bull. And
Ethan Hawke is great, by the way.
Ethan Hawke is really selling it.
I don't know how he does it, but he does it.
He's just a good actor.
He's
He's
just
a good
great
actor.
villain.
Yeah.
But this
Like-
villain is just so weak. I'm so bored with him already.
What?
I
Darce,
Literally,
no.
Darce wants
Metaverse is
uh,
gonna
you could
I
not
want him to
live with your
fly.
own failure. What did that bring you? Back to me. That's what you want. You just want Thanos level.
Reality is
World
often
ending.
disappointing.
so bored. Like, he's so peaceful. I'm so tired. And then, like, of course, he shoots him at the end, and that's the most action we get out of him.
He's manipulative. That's the selling point. He talks in this calm manner to any, like, even his cultists that are on his side. He talks in this demeaning manner to them. And I think even Layla brings it up. She's like, is there any point when you speak that you're not condescending?
Right.
It is genius. I mean, I don't know, man. He does not need to be coming in with 3 Infinity Stones and causing havoc. I don't know. Maybe he might do something towards the end of the season where maybe he does get a superpower. Maybe Moon Knight has to punch him in the face a little bit. I don't know. But right now he's intimidating. I like his condescending demeanor to multiple people because that makes him more punchable. I want Mark to go in on him. And we're hopefully gonna get that in the finale. I don't know.
Well, that's another surprise as well. Whenever that scene came up when he actually shot Mark, I was surprised because I never actually thought that was actually going to happen, which it was actually really good scene and made Ethan Hawke even more of a terrible, like not terrible, but like amazing villain, because you didn't even expect that happening.
He killed the protagonist. Well, seemingly, he shot him.
We watched him stay calm pretty much when nothing was really ever going in his favor at points in the series. He has finally lost his patience, you know, and that was cold to see. It was cold to see him switch.
He's willing to make that choice. He will kill you.
Yeah, but then also, are we gonna talk about it now? Because we talked about.
Well, here we are. Marc and Steven fall into a pool of water that seems
a baptism. I don't know.
It seems it has taken them to
beyond.
Right.
Well, I think the water was not like important because I think it was just kind of like laying there in a sense. Because
you think it's like symbolism, more or less.
I don't think there was, to be honest. I don't know, unless we're thinking about like how whenever you go to one of the chambers where you actually like float in water. And it's like all dark, and you just have your own.
A sensory deprivation chamber.
Correct. So maybe that has like something to do with it. That's the only connection I can think of. But the water, I remember seeing it all around the tomb. So I thought it was just part of it. I didn't really think of it much.
I think that this is a sign that he won. That, what do you call it?
Arthur
won, and everything else that they're dealing with is the aftermath. Which is really interesting to see. Like that's how I'm approaching it. That this is the new world that he wanted to make, and it's also interesting that he's trying to take care of people. I don't know what level of take care, because there's a lot of like, yes, on the surface, like do mental institutions try and help people with like mental issues and like mental illnesses and people with disabilities? Sure. But also now I'm gonna really analyze this, but really these institutions are just vehicles for torture, vehicles for malpractice, and vehicles for like harm to be done to people that are very vulnerable. And it's no surprise that it's all stripped out in white. Everything is white in this place. And that's a form of torture. Like there's such a thing called like the whiteout torture, where they put you in a room and everything is white, and they literally do not have any absence of like they have no color, and they only feed you white rice, and it's like this whole thing. But it makes people like go insane. Like there's like a person, and I'm maybe insane is not the right word, but what do you call it? People have gone mad because they have stayed in it. I think that like some guy was trying to stay in it for like 30 days and he could only do 10. And after he like started like hallucinating, seeing voices, but I think this is all purposeful.
You're thinking this is Arthur. Arthur has put him here.
Yes, I think, or that Arthur has released Amit and he didn't know what he was getting himself into. He kind of jumped the gun, and now he's in service to Amit right now.
Are you jumping the gun a little bit too? Because when Marc got shot, the statue was still in Marc's possession, no?
Yeah,
yes, it was still in his hand.
Does he even know that Marc has it? I can't remember. Like Marc
he has the thing. He has
it in his hand, like visible.
I mean, it's a big thing. Like it's.
But I'm also saying, what do you call it? That even if Marc falls into the obviously shallow pool of water, and that falling was just I'm taking it as artistic. But also,
that's fair.
Arthur has the compass that points to the thing.
Oh, very true.
So either way, he'll go be like, well, it's not anywhere. Where is it? And it's just gonna point at Arthur, not Arthur, but Marc, and he's gonna be like,
I guess I'm on the side of this is in Marc's head, especially with the reveal of the VHS that he was watching.
Yes.
What is it? Tomb Busters?
Tomb
Busters, starring the adventures of Dr. Stephen Grant. Ooh.
It comes full. You know what? No, there was a solid 2 minutes in this whole asylum bit where for a good 2 minutes, then I got over it. I thought they were gonna play the fact that everything that we've been seeing in the first 3 episodes was all in his head.
The usual suspects.
Right. But then because as Mark is going throughout the facility, he's noticing things that kind of resemble things that we've seen in past episodes. So he'll see
people.
the people. Layla,
he saw the picture of the Alps.
And it's like, and he's saying to himself, "Oh, all these things remind me of those things that I experienced." And I'm like, "Oh man, are they really gonna go full meta with this and actually say the 3 episodes prior were all in his head?" For 2 minutes, I was sold on that, but then I was like, "No, that's
bad storytelling. That's wasting the audience's time."
Yeah,
yes.
That's WandaVision.
Which is why the thing that has
Darce, no, I didn't mean it. Where'd you go?
The thing that pulled him back is him finding Steven. The only semblance of what he was experiencing, actuality, which was a very nice embrace between the two. They've been butting heads for the last, 3 episodes.
See each other.
Right.
So many different emotions too, and because there's so many that. There's oh my god, this is actually you, and then oh my god, it's actually you. There's so many things going on, going back and forth. I can Oscar Isaac did so great in doing both emotions, going in both perspective. I think they feel like different persons.
Somebody tweeted the movie with the episode with no context, and they said, "This is the Parent Trap." They the twins and me.
The twins.
Right.
Oh
and so,
God.
but Arthur shot us, right? And yes. And
he's like, "What was the last thing you remember?" He's like, "Arthur shot us." He's like, "Okay, thank God I'm not crazy."
Right. And so now they're starting to realize, they're in wherever they are here, as in someone has put them here. And
they walked by this thing right here, and
they walked by this thing.
I'm not opening that.
Now, hold up. Let's before we get into it, because people have been talking. People swear they know who's in there. All we ever heard about was Scotty. We don't want to share the name. Are y'all good, or what do you want? What do you?
No,
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
All right.
If there's a clear answer, no.
I mean, it's not a clear answer. This is what everybody has been saying is the third altar.
Yeah, I do know that there is a third altar, or even more, but I do know that there's a name floating around. But I don't know if this story is going to change anything, because they changed Stephen Grant from being Bruce Wayne to being a guy who works in a gift shop.
Milo Thatch.
Yeah. So they've changed a couple of things, and that's where I'm like, okay, now I'm just gonna see where it goes.
I don't want to go in expecting something that might not happen with the character.
Yeah. I think this story has been good so far about balancing expectations with actual good storytelling. So I'm just excited to see. Yes, they're dropping hints, but I don't know. I don't want to go into next week and be like, "Oh, this person they baited us and blah blah blah." They're not giving us that much right now. They're only giving us hints, breadcrumbs, and maybe this is not for Moon Knight season 1. Maybe those are for Moon Knight season 2.
Well, I think they said this is a limited series, no?
I think they did call this and Hawkeye.
Hawkeye was definitely limited series.
Right.
And
I mean, they could,
and WandaVision.
They could change it if they want to,
They could.
But I saw the name floating around. I did not look further into the name. I like going into this very much. I'm going to learn my Moon Knight lore from the show. and then I'll follow up after the show is over. But
there's so many theories here. Like I know, like during the last scene with the when they were doing the bingo scene, and everything was floating by, you can see so many things, like how everybody's talking in it with all the people from the past, his goldfish, cupcakes. There was like
I didn't even notice the goldfish.
Khonshu as well, like as a hummingbird.
Wait, what was the thing with the cupcakes again?
The cupcakes is the truck he was driving.
Yeah, it's a truck from the first scene, from the first episode.
Got it.
Yeah, there was that, and there was Layla as well, just like walking around
as an orderly. Yeah.
The one thing I was so confused was the bingo, bingo paper, because like bingo normally had like the BINGO and also like all the numbers, but like all the numbers would be kind of like ordered in some kind of way. But if you look at the paper in this episode, like everything was just like all completely randomized.
Yeah, it didn't look like he got a solid bingo in any direction.
Should be your key, man. This ain't real.
There has to be something, yeah. And at first, like at least this what I got, because like Mark was just like, oh, okay, I guess this is kind of like going on, and then he started talking to Arthur, and then like he's still thinking like there's something wrong with this, like something is off, until Arthur said a quote, and it was a quote that he said before he shot him. It was I cannot help you if you cannot help yourself.
Yeah,
I can't save people who don't want to be saved.
Correct. That was a quote. And once he said that, that's when everything clicked, and Mark was like, "You shot me."
But he also said in that conversation, he also said something really interesting where he said, "We don't live in a material world. We live in a psychic world."
Oh,
yeah.
So this probably is like another level of reality where this is all going on.
Wait a second.
Reality stones?
No.
Leave them out of the equation.
They have played their part.
That's where the Shadow King lives. The astral realm.
I don't know if this is the astral realm, but this is definitely somewhere.
Yes, it's a plane.
Somewhere.
It's a plane.
Oh, and the Shadow King is from Egypt. That's where he finds Storm. Ooh,
we're only focusing on
I don't think they're gonna be
no MCU ties, Darce. This is a Moon Knight series.
Oscar Isaac has said that that's why he was so drawn to the project, because it was so separate from the greater MCU and Marvel in general. So if you know, in a introduction series, I don't think they want to introduce some other characters from their own, line to come in and be
the ending episode is gonna have the new Captain America, Bucky,
of course,
Quicksilver, but the dead version of him, and then Wolverine come and save Moon Knight from Moon Knight.
We got you, Mark.
I guess. I
swear to God, if they do that.
Before the series ends, I just need a little hint that this is a Marvel production, not just a Disney.
This is a Marvel production.
They threw you, Victor Von Doom.
What are you saying? See, you're the type of people that Dr. Mondo probably don't like, because you want formula. If Dr. Mondo was
on here, he would be ranting, full rant mode.
You don't want formula.
The formula works, then why do you want to try to change it?
Oh, nothing. It does not mean it cannot be improved.
Crap.
It's fixed.
So I come to see the Marvel crap.
But Marvel can exist by itself. Like Moon Knight is doing a good job, and I think it's also managing, because it's so separate from everything. They're taking risks. Like we didn't. If this was a Marvel Studios show that's tied into everything, then they wouldn't have gone to Egypt in the second episode. They would have been like, no, we have to actually travel there, and maybe we'll see some, funny European people, and then we'll be like, the Avengers? You're like a superhero, right? And then And then Khonshu wouldn't have moved the stars. It'd be like, Khonshu's like, no, I know what to do. And then it's going to be immediately undercut by Layla getting a call from the undercover Agent Coulson and being like,
Oh God.
Layla, I need you on a mission. And then blah, blah. See, this is
multiverse.
Listen, you gotta just let things naturally unfold. I think you set yourself up too high.
I'll let the cards lay where they are, or whatever the saying is.
You just gotta let it be for what it is. It's a story of two brothers who passed a sarcophagus that could be their other brother.
Oh my God.
And what
sold himself.
That's why
not himself.
And then they bump into a hippo.
What comes out the door?
But for 1 second, this is literally Gloria from Madagascar. Hi, like who they got to voice over?
I don't know.
No
but
idea.
I know I immediately went to Twitter and was like, Gloria the hippo, anybody?
All right.
It was the same pitch and everything. it was spot on.
Yeah. Now
which god is this, by the way?
We know it. It's funny enough, I saw that they teased this in like episode 1 in the gift shop.
Yeah, it was Vorteria or something.
I looked it up. I looked it up earlier, and I can't pronounce the name, but it is the god that helps women with pregnancy.
Yeah, Tawaret.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently that is a very good god. Like that's like one of the major like household gods that Egyptians used to like constantly pray to, even if they were in a cult. Like they would be, because Egyptians worked a little bit different than like what we have today. Like some people like were cultists and were like, no, we only pray to this one god and that's it. And then they had like the household gods that they would like pray to, which would be like the main pantheon, and every house was kind of different. So she's supposed to be at least a force for good. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, once you said that she was like the god of like kind of like giving birth kind of sense, like I immediately think about like how they are quote unquote kind of, one of my theories is basically that they're in purgatory, and like she's actually going to be, she's there to actually help them out, that she's going to be like a factor to actually like revive them or like give birth to them again
easily.
So
but
that made me think of that.
But here's another thing. Now that we're talking about Egypt mythology, and again, Egypt mythology has always been kind of weird and strange, and people have been evil many times in many adaptations of Egyptian mythology. I'm thinking about, what do you call it? Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie with the Pyramid of Light.
With
like,
Anubis.
Or Anubis. Anubis is is supposed to be a very fair and like God. He's supposed to just judge you. So, and then in that movie, they made him out to be like, Pharaoh, I'm evil and I will kill you. And
they made him the Hades equivalent, you know,
which again, Hades is not a bad guy.
It's the Hollywood interpretation of Hades.
It's the if you are related to death in any sort of the matter, you must be evil yourself, right?
But then here comes the, what do you call it? Here comes the question. I looked up Amit and her role, because in Egypt everyone had like a very specific role with life's processes. Like there was a god who would like be a boat across another god so that it could take Ra throughout the day, throughout the cycles. Horus was supposed to be like the leader. Osiris was meant to die and be betrayed, but so this Amit apparently is a god, and this is gonna be very interesting if any people are familiar with like Baptist interpretations of the Bible. But she apparently appears next to a lake of fire and eats those people who don't deserve to live or don't deserve to go into the afterlife. And then sometimes she'll be like, you're so bad, I don't want to eat you. You just go in the lake of fire. So now I'm questioning, like, why do the other gods want Amit? Like, how is this interpretation going to be portrayed? You know what I mean? Of course they're gonna change things and they're gonna make her bad, but it's just interesting to see how it relates to the actual mythology.
There could be some plays here where the gods are punishing others in their own favor, you know, to where maybe Amit was unjustly punished and put into the statue. We don't know. But however, this final scene with the hippo opens the door that maybe the gods are more involved than everybody thinks. Like, here Harwet appears high, very good nature, sounds good spirited. As Mr. Bombastic said, maybe she is here to guide them back because their task is not done. Like Gandalf the White in a sense, you know. But at the same time, I think I did see like she is involved in like healing and like fertility and whatnot. And maybe this is just her way to rehabilitate Marc, Steven, whatever altars there are.
Come to terms with this guy, whoever it is.
Exactly.
By the way, his sarcophagus is standing up compared to Steven's, which was laying down. I don't know if that means anything, but it was interesting.
No doubt. Where do we stand as far as, I think we pretty much covered everything here with Moon Knight episode 4. Well, I think we nailed the lingering questions. We know moving forward, we need to get out of this place, purgatory, the mental psychic plane, wherever they are. We need to get out of here. Layla's in that tomb with Harrow, who presumably has Amit, and our boy Khonshu still locked up. Many things to look forward to in the next episode. Any final thoughts before we close it up?
I don't think they're gonna show in my opinion, they're not gonna show the third personality as of yet. I think they're just doing it kind of like an Easter egg, kind of like what's gonna come later on. I think that this episode is just gonna be between Marc and Steven, trying to get out of there, and at least from what I think, and they're gonna have the help of Tawera, or I forgot her name.
Close enough. The hippo.
Yeah, the hippo. So
you call her Gloria,
at least in my opinion. Yeah. So at least in my opinion, that's still gonna be, that sarcophagus standing up is gonna be a question that everybody's still gonna be thinking about the next few episodes, because nobody is really gonna. I think it's just gonna bring more questions to a lot of people in the next few episodes, and it's just gonna eventually, like maybe 2 or 3 more episodes down the road, they're gonna show it. Oh, like, remember this that you saw episode 4? Let's bring it back in and let's actually capture everything and bring everything together.
Well, there's only 2 episodes left as well.
Oh, I actually did not know that.
Yeah, this episode.
They are chunky episodes.
Oh,
so we got
they're not like 20-minute episodes. I just hope that they come to a better conclusion than big Marvel CGI fight scene. I hope it's more interesting than that. I hope that the fight scene is just interesting, and I hope that it's, you know, because I'm like, let's be real, can Arthur fight? He's wearing those damn sandals.
They haven't explained that yet.
They haven't.
Glass.
Well, I watched the behind the scenes. Apparently, Ethan Hawke was like, you know, fanatics do crazy things all the time in history. Why don't we do this to show how fanatical I am?
Yeah, I did read that. That did come from him. It did.
That makes sense.
I'm convinced he's a fanatical.
Interesting.
That hurts. That's for sure.
No, for real. I mean, I'm sold so far. The only other show that I know was Loki 6 episodes.
Yes, Loki, Hawkeye, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I don't know why I thought they were more.
All 6 episodes.
Really? Loki was 6 episodes?
Loki was 6 episodes. Yep.
Wow. I mean,
What was 8, and I think What If was 10.
Right. I mean, I was drawing a direct comparison more so to Falcon and Winter Soldier, just because that was the one that I remembered being 6 episodes. And I remember we said in that pod that if it just got 1 or 2 episodes more, they could have fleshed out that ending that they clearly rushed. So I'm hoping Moon Knight does not have that same problem, because right now we're getting really good buildup, and I hope it just doesn't culminate in episode 6 being this mess of an episode where they try to address every single little thing rather than answering some questions episode 5, answering the rest in 6. I don't know. We'll see. But so far, I like the buildup. I like the pacing that they're going with. And I mean, I liked characters more than I did now. I like Layla way more now than I did like in episode 4. I think I even mentioned before, I felt kind of slow a little bit when they tried to focus on Layla and Mark having their one-on-one. But now Layla's up there. Layla's up there now. So I'm excited. We'll see.
We'll see for sure.
We will see. So all we can do is keep following these breadcrumbs that Marc and Steven have been laying out for us, and hopefully we can reach a satisfying conclusion that'll satisfy all. But that's it, lovely people from us here at the Yonkō Table. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you follow us on your local podcast listening stations, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course, if you'd love to see our faces, be sure to check us out on YouTube for the whole video recording. So without further ado, I am GrandMasterHoop, DrJaceAttorney, Nino Desplazado, Mr. Bombastic, and Darce. We're signing out. Y'all take care.